I've seen a lot of discourse about weapons on here, and I think one of the things that is bothering me is people are failing to acknowledge the actual purpose of weapons and what it's trying to do and what it's trying to make you feel. Weapons is very much a story about grief. It's really looking at the different types of way that we grieve, and it's using different character studies to show us that, to show the impacts of tragedy on individuals as well as how that shapes a town. I know some people feel like it's not really covering how it shapes a town very well because it's focusing on specific individuals, but I do tend to think that grief narratives are most successful when they're very personalized. But in addition to that, it has a lot of other layers, such as this story with Alex about familial abuse and neglect. Alex is sitting there being very blatantly abused, and the only person who is noticing is his teacher, Justine, and then she is no longer his teacher, and no one else is seeming to notice that he is a completely different child at school. There's also this really lovely allegory about how older generations are abusing and using resources and taking away those resources from younger generations. Aunt Gladys is literally stealing the lives of people who are younger and leaving them without their life force. But in this case, we can see it as how, older generations such as boomers are using our resources and then denying global warming and voting for things that are actively against the younger generation, as well as wealth hoarding. Of course, there's also the police narrative going on with Paul, with him turning off his dash cam, so anyone looking at the footage can't see what he actually did. I can see how people can say that some of these themes are half-baked because they're only focused on for portions of the story, but I feel like all of these messages were really, really clear to me as a viewer on first watch. Something that I really value about Zach Cregger's films is they are pretty thematically rich. I think Barbarian's 3-act structure is very thematically important, and I think a lot of people dismiss that as just like a funny, goofy movie, and it's a lot more than that to me. I think Weapons is going to suffer from the same fate because there is these pieces of comedy and scenes that do get kind of goofy, but that's on purpose. If Weapons isn't for you, that's totally okay, but let's not dismiss all of the things that it does have going for it and all of the meaning layered beneath the surface.